Namo Bhagavate Sri Arunachala Ramanaya. Hello everyone. This video serves as a comprehensive month end special, covering all the enlightening topics we have explored throughout this month. Topics we have discussed so far are: don't find fault in others, ego, karma, embracing God's plan, Guru in physical form, humility and gratitude, inner Guru, inner happiness, significance of spiritual instructions, letting go of judgment, balancing physical and spiritual life, pain and pleasure, humility in success, accepting of life's natural flow, discovering inner peace, self inquiry for beginners, surrendering to higher power. Please watch this video until the end to gain an overview of all these topics. May it assist us on our journey towards self realization. And thank you all for your support of this channel. Bhagavan believed that focusing on our own work is the key to avoiding criticism of others. He used to say that as long as we concentrate on the task we are engaged in, we won't even notice what others are doing around us. Think about it. When we are deeply involved in our work, our attention is fully occupied. It is only when our attention wanders from our own tasks that we find the time and inclination to criticize others. So let's take this wisdom to heart. Instead of complaining others, let's channel our energy into our own endeavors. By doing so, not only will we become more productive and successful, but we will also create a more positive and harmonious environment around us. In conclusion, remember Bhagavan's advice: stay focused on your work, and you will find yourself less inclined to criticize others. Let's strive to be the best versions of ourselves and encourage those around us to do the same. You see, many of us spend our lives chasing happiness. We believe that if we change our surroundings, get a better job, or have more money, we will finally be happy. But Bhagavan tells us something different. He says that the real cause of our unhappiness is not what's happening around us, but something inside us called the ego. The ego is a little voice in our heads that often says negative things. It might tell us we are not good enough or we can achieve our dreams. It sets limits on what we think we can do. So, the first lesson we can learn from Bhagavan is to recognize this ego within us. It's crucial because it's the root of our unhappiness. When we understand this, we take the first step towards finding true happiness. Now, you might wonder why it's so important to know about the ego. Bhagavan believed that the ego creates a cycle of suffering. It's like building a cage around ourselves and then trying to break free from it. We hold ourselves back because we doubt our abilities, and this self doubt comes from the ego. Think about the times you wanted to do something but hesitated because you thought you couldn't. That's the ego at work. It's like our own worst critic, always telling us we are not good enough. So here is the thing: blaming external things for our unhappiness, like our jobs, relationship, or circumstances, does not really help. Even if we find temporary happiness in these things, it usually doesn't last very long. We end up stuck in a cycle of constantly searching for more. Bhagavan asks us to consider this. Can we truly find lasting happiness in things outside of ourselves? even when we do. How long does that happiness really stick around? He suggests that the path to lasting happiness is within us. It's about recognizing the ego's limitations and learning to go beyond them. It's like finding a well of happiness deep within ourselves. Now, I won't sugarcoat it. This journey isn't easy. It takes self reflection and sometimes facing our fears and doubts. But it's a journey worth taking because it leads to a happiness that doesn't depend on what's happening around us. Picture life as a vast ocean where each ripple represents an action, a choice, or a moment in time. In the depths of this ocean lies a treasure chest of experiences. This, my friends, is what we call karma, and it's at the heart of our existence. Bhagavan explained that karma comes in three distinct types: Sanchita karma, Prarabdha karma, and Agami karma. Sanchita karma, think of this as your cosmic savings account. It stores all the deeds, both good and bad, from your past lives. These actions accumulate over time, waiting for the right moment to influence your present life. Prarabdha karma. This type of karma is like the funds you withdraw from your cosmic account to spend in this lifetime. It's the part of your past karma that shapes your experiences and challenges in the here and now. Agami karma. Now, this is akin to the actions you are currently adding to your cosmic account. Every choice and action you make today contributes to your future karma. Bhagavan encourages us to accept our karma gracefully. Life's joys and sorrows are outcomes of our past actions. Instead of resisting, he advises us to embrace both happiness and suffering with patience and equanimity. Often we blame external circumstances or other people for our difficulties, but Bhagavan challenges us to look within. He reminds us that our karma sets the stage and others are simply playing their roles in our life's drama. God in Bhagavan's teaching is not a distant observer but an active manager of our karma. God ensures that our life experiences serve our spiritual growth, whether they appear as blessing or challenges. Bhagavan acknowledged the idea of karma, which suggests that our actions have consequences. He believed that karma applies as long as a person thinks they are separate from their true self. In this state, individuals go through a series of predetermined activities and experiences, all resulting from their past actions and thoughts. Sometimes he even said that everything in a person's life is determined at birth, and the only freedom lies in realizing that there is no separate doer or experiencer. Once someone realizes their true self, there is no one left to experience the consequences of actions. Bhagavan saw karma as a manifestation of God's will. He explained that before self realization, there is a personal God or Ishvara who controls each person's destiny. Ishvara decides that everyone must face the result of their actions and selects these consequences for each lifetime. As long as person identifies with their physical body, they can't escape Ishvara's control. The only way to break free from this authority is to transcend karma completely by realizing one's true self. Destiny is what happens because of things you did before. It's related to your body. Let your body do what it wants. Why do you care about it? Why do you focus on it? If something happens, it happens because of what you did in the past, what a higher power wants, and other reasons. So long as there is the sense of doership, there is a sense of enjoyment and of individual will. But if this sense is lost through the practice of self inquiry or self surrender, that divine will act and guide the course of events. The fate is overcome by self knowledge, which is beyond will and fate. Success and failure, according to Bhagavan, are not solely determined by our willpower. They are profoundly linked to our accumulated karma. True willpower, he suggests, lies in maintaining inner balance under all circumstances. Now let's turn our attention to self inquiry, a cornerstone of Bhagavan's teachings. He asks a fundamental question: who am I? This question isn't about finding your name or profession, it's a profound journey into self discovery. When you deeply explore this question, you peel away the layers of your ego and conditioning, gradually revealing your true self. This inquiry leads to a profound transformation where suffering dissipates and you experience supreme bliss. Another powerful method taught by Bhagavan is self surrender. He encourages us to surrender our ego, desires, and attachment to a higher power, often refers to as the self or divine. By surrendering to this higher reality, you release the burden of control and ego driven desires. You trust that this higher power will guide your life for your highest good. It's a path of letting go, trust, and deep surrender. I would like to share an important message from Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi that can help us in our daily lives. He says that when we face difficult situations or problems, we can trust in God to help us handle them. God's incredible power is what makes everything happen in the world. So instead of constantly worrying about what we should or shouldn't do, we can just trust in God's guidance. Bhagavan also tells us that people don't need to plan out every single thing they do. Why? Because when God sent us into this world, He had a plan for us, and that plan will unfold as it should. We don't need to worry too much about what's going to happen because God's plan is always in motion. In simple terms, Bhagavan reminds us to have faith in a higher power and to believe that things will work out the way they are supposed to. He encourages us to let go of unnecessary stress and trust that God is there to help us with life's challenges. It is said that a guru is not confined to their physical forms. Their presence transcends the boundaries of time and space. Our Bhagavan isn't limited by the body we see. Instead, Bhagavan's essence is always with us. a part of our very being. You can think of Bhagavan, connect with his wisdom and teachings, and experience the solace and guidance as if you were in his physical presence. This notion suggests that you are never truly separated from Bhagavan. You are constantly in his presence, and this realization can bring great comfort and assurance. Sometimes people may believe that the physical form of a guru is no longer present, but the truth is that the guru's essence remains always accessible. So let's remember and honor Sadguru Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi. Although he is no longer in his mortal form, his influence, wisdom, and grace continue to guide countless seekers, disciples, and devotees worldwide. May we all be blessed with his enduring grace, leading us towards the ultimate goal of self realization. In a world that often encourages us to take pride in our accomplishments and attribute them solely to our efforts, Ramana Maharshi urges us to maintain a sense of humility. He cautions us against becoming deluded by our successes, reminding us that they are not solely the results of our actions, but rather the blessings of a higher power. This perspective invites us to shift our focus from our own achievements to the grace of God. Instead of feeling pride, Bhagavan encourages us to cultivate gratitude in our hearts for the blessing that flows into our lives. When we achieve our desires, we should recognize that it's not just our hard work, but also the divine grace that has played a role. This realization can lead to a profound sense of humility, helping us stay grounded and connected to something greater than ourselves. Furthermore, Bhagavan advises us to accept the natural flow of life. He encourages us not to resist or go against the events and circumstances that unfold. This teaching aligns with the concept of surrendering to the divine will, acknowledging that there is a greater plan at play. By relinquishing our desire to control every aspect of our lives, we can find inner peace and contentment. Bhagavan's ultimate message is to become one with our true selves, to abide in the self, and to remain peacefully merged in the heart. This spiritual teaching encourages us to look inward, to discover our inner essence, and to connect with the unchanging truth within us. It reminds us that by finding this inner peace, we can navigate life's ups and downs with equanimity. Traditionally, we are taught that having a guru, a spiritual guide, is essential for our spiritual growth. However, Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi suggests that a guru need not always be a person. Our spiritual journey often starts with the belief in a higher power, God, who governs the universe and our lives. Many of us seek connection with this divine presence through devotion or bhakti. As we progress on our spiritual path, something remarkable happens. The same God we once worshipped externally reveals itself as our inner Guru. This inner Guru gently guides us, whispering, "The God is within yourselves. Dive within and realize." In other words, God, Guru, and the Self are not separate entities, but different aspects of the same divine essence. Now, you might ask, what about Bhagavan himself? He believed that the entire world was his Guru. This profound insight underscores the idea that Guruhood is not confined to human forms. Instead, the whole world, nature, elements, animals, and our life experiences can be our gurus, teaching us valuable lessons about what is right and wrong. Think of Dattatreya, who had 24 gurus. His gurus were not people, but elements and aspects of the world around him. This teaches us that our gurus can come in many forms if we stay open to life's lessons. In essence, a guru serves as a guide, leading us towards self realization and inner transformation. The Guru's grace is like a gentle breeze that helps steer the boat of our life in the right direction. It is this grace that leads us to self enquiry, the path that Bhagavan himself followed. Self enquiry is a profound practice that encourages us to turn our attention inwards and ask the question, "Who am I?" It's a journey of introspection where we explore the layers of our identity, peeling away the ego and illusions that cloud our perception. Bhagavan teaches that by constantly asking this question and seeking the true nature of the self, we can uncover the eternal truth. Self inquiry is not just a mental exercise, it's a transformative process that connects us with our inner Guru, the divine presence within us. Through self inquiry, we come to realize that the Guru is not merely an external guide, but the formless, ever present self. As we navigate our spiritual journeys, let's remember that the path may be unique for each of us, but the light of wisdom and guidance is always available, whether it comes from the inner Guru, the world around us, or the divine presence within us. This light beckons us to explore the depths of our consciousness, to discover that eternal truth that God, Guru, and the Self are the one and the same. Bhagavan invites us to reflect on the nature of our happiness. Many of us tend to believe that our happiness depends on external factors and possessions. We think that the more we have, the happier we will be, and conversely, the less we have, the less happy we will feel. But let's pause and consider a different scenario. Bhagavan asked us to think about deep sleep. In those moments, we are completely devoid of possessions, even our own bodies. Strangely, In that state, we don't feel unhappy. In fact, we feel quite content. It's something we all desire, a peaceful night's sleep. From this, Bhagavan draws a profound conclusion. Happiness is not something that comes from the outside. Instead, he suggests that happiness is an inherent quality within us, a part of our very being. It's not tied to material possessions or external circumstances. To truly tap into this unalloyed happiness, Bhagavan encourages us to realize our true selves. In other words, he invites us to look within, to connect with our inner essence. When we can do that, we can unlock a boundless source of happiness that isn't dependent on what we have or don't have in the external world. In a world often driven by the pursuit of more, Bhagavan's teaching reminds us that true and lasting happiness might be closer than we think, residing within ourselves. Let's take a moment to reflect and consider how we might explore the depths of our own inner happiness. Thank you. The disciple asks, what's the point of instructions if God guides us? Bhagavan explains that instructions are for those who seek them. If you firmly believe in God's guidance, you can simply trust and not worry about what's happening around you. Whether happiness or misery comes your way, remain equally indifferent, rooted in your faith in God. Now, you might wonder, how can I have such strong faith? Well, that's precisely where instructions come in. Some people readily believe in God's guidance, while others need more understanding. They question who God is, His nature, and how to realize Him. For them, intellectual discussions become necessary. Arguments are presented, pros and cons weighted, and then truth becomes clear to their intellect. Once the concept is grasped intellectually, the sincere seeker starts applying it in their life. They constantly question, who am I? For whom are these thoughts? Until they firmly believe in a higher power guiding them. This unshakable faith clears all doubts, and they no longer need further instructions. The key takeaway here is that faith in God varies in strength. If it's unwavering, you find contentment in believing that God guides everything. If doubts linger, intellectual understanding can help strengthen your faith until you reach that unshakable belief. In conclusion, instructions are like stepping stones for those on a journey to deepen their faith in God's guidance. Whether your faith is strong or seeking reinforcement, the path to unwavering belief is a personal and enlightening journey we can all embark on. There are no two separate minds, one good and one evil. Instead, our minds can lean towards doing good things or bad things because of our vasanas or tendencies of the mind. If it leans towards good things, it is called good, if not bad. Bhagavan tells us not to hate or dislike people who seem unkind or do wrong things. He says it's better to let go of strong likes and dislikes, love and hate, because these emotions can disturb our inner peace. He also suggests that we should not always think about everyday problems too much. It's best not to get involved in other people's issue unless it's necessary. This helps us have a clear and focused mind. One of the most important things he tells us is that when we help others, we are essentially helping ourselves. If we understand this, we will be more willing to help those who need it. Imagine for a moment an actor on a stage. They fully become their character, wearing the character's clothes, feeling their emotions, and acting like them. Yet deep down, they know that they are not that character. They are someone else in real life. Similarly, in our daily lives, why should the feeling of I am the body or the demands of our physical existence disturb our inner peace? Once we realize that we are not merely the body, but something far greater, the self. Ramana Maharshi, a wise sage, teaches us that nothing the body does should shake us from abiding in the self. It's like being the actor of your own life, fully engaged in your roles and responsibilities, but with an unwavering awareness that your true essence lies beyond these worldly pursuits. So, my friends, let's embrace this profound wisdom in our journey. Whether you are a teacher, doctor, or any other profession, remember that your occupation need not interfere with your spiritual effort. By recognizing the true nature of the self, we can navigate life's challenges with a sense of detachment, knowing that our ultimate reality transcends the roles we play. In this way, we can find harmony between our worldly duties and our spiritual path. Have you ever wondered why it seems that good actions sometimes bring suffering, while wicked deeds appear to lead to happiness? This question has been pondered by many, and the great sage Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi provides us with some profound insights. Bhagavan teaches us that the pain or pleasure we experience is not solely a consequence of our current actions. It is deeply intertwined with our past deeds, a concept known as karma. These experiences of pain and pleasure, like day and night, come and go in a cyclical manner. The key he suggests is to approach these ups and downs in life with patience and equanimity without allowing them to overpower us. To achieve lasting happiness, one must strive to connect with their inner self. Bhagavan advises us that when we engage in actions, we should do so without attaching ourselves to the outcomes. Whether joy or suffering comes our way occasionally, we must remain steadfast in our pursuit of inner peace. It is in this state of indifference to external circumstances that true happiness can be found. In essence, his wisdom encourages us to transcend the roller coaster of life's events and remain centered within ourselves. For it is in this inner serenity that genuine and lasting happiness resides. Number 1. Humility in success. Bhagavan advises us that when our desires are fulfilled as we wish, we must not let success inflate our ego. He reminds us that success often results not only from our efforts but also from the grace of a higher power or God. The key here is humility, acknowledging that we are part of a greater force at work and expressing gratitude for the opportunities bestowed upon us. Number two, acceptance of life's natural flow. Another profound teaching of Bhagavan is the encouragement of embrace life's unfolding without resistance. Accept whatever life brings our way without resisting it. This means relinquishing the constant pursuit of new challenges and instead going with the flow, much like a reverse current. We learn to acknowledge that not everything is within our control and find moments of stillness and reflection amidst life's complexities. Number three, discovering inner peace. Lastly, he guides us to connect with our inner selves. This involves taking deliberate moments to understand our true essence and cultivate inner peace. This inner peace can serve as a wellspring of strength and stability, particularly in a world that often feels turbulent and unpredictable. Bhagavan encourages us to take a step back from our thoughts and emotions. Imagine ourselves as dispassionate spectators, simply witnessing the thoughts that arise in our minds. It's like saying to ourselves, whatever is happening or might happen, let it unfold. I will be a mere observer. This teaching reminds us of the power of detachment and mindfulness. In our fast paced world, we often find ourselves overwhelmed by the constant stream of information, expectation, and anxieties. Bhagavan's wisdom suggests that we don't need to be slave to our thoughts and emotions. Instead, we can choose to watch them with a sense of calm and indifference. By following this practice, we can gain better control over our minds and emotions. We become less reactive and more at peace with whatever life brings our way. It's a simple yet profound lesson that helps us navigate the complexities of our inner world. In a world filled with distractions and constant mental chattering, Bhagavan's wisdom offers us a path to inner serenity. So let's remember to be calm and composed observers of our thoughts, allowing us to lead more balancing and fulfilling lives. Moreover, this teaching is a reminder of the importance of self awareness. In our hectic lives, we often forget to pause and reflect on our thoughts and actions. Bhagavan's guidance encourages us to become introspective, to examine our inner landscapes, and to cultivate a deeper understanding of ourselves. In conclusion, let's embrace the wisdom of Bhagavan Sri Ramana Maharshi and strive to be the detached observers of our own thoughts and emotions. This practice can lead us to a state of inner peace and self discovery, enabling us to live more meaningful and harmonious life. Imagine you are on a train journey. You have a heavy load on your head, thinking it's your responsibility to carry it. But in reality, the train is designed to carry both you and your load. It doesn't matter if the load is on your head or on the floor, the train still moves forward. In life, it's similar. When you believe you are the sole worker and bear all the burdens, you will experience the consequences of your action. However, if you acknowledge yourself as a tool of a higher power, things change. You surrender to this higher power and it takes over. The outcomes of your actions are no longer your sole concern. Whether you recognize this higher power or not, The world's order remains the same. The only difference is your perspective. So, why carry unnecessary burdens on your head when the journey of life is designed to carry both you and your load? Surrender, let go, and let the higher power guide your path. Your load will still reach its destination, and you will find peace in the process.